guys, welcome back. My name's Matt. If you're new here, please smash that subscribe button and maybe give this video a like if you feel like it. Our compost heap here has gone so well that we decided we'd make another one. And this guy's steaming hot. It's completely turned to soil. Believe it or not, this started from this pile of decayed wood and a bin of grapes just the same as this one. Well, actually it was 3 bins of grapes to 1 bin of wood, and that's your 30:1 carbon to nitrogen ratio. The grapes being the nitrogen aspect and the wood being the carbon aspect. Starting a compost heap is as simple as putting all your components together and mixing it, and mixing it regular is also a key component. The more you stir a compost, the more aerated it is and the better it becomes. Give it a bit of a squirt with molasses or fish oil, or fish plus I mean, which is an agricultural product you can buy. It's fish and kelp meal. And oh, that moment when you're smashing things about with the tractor and you think you've just lost your new phone underneath somewhere. Whew! Luckily, obviously I didn't, because I have it in my hand. What I wanted to show you though is what I was talking about when I said smashing things about with the tractor. I was actually talking about bin of fruit there behind me, which is no longer on the tractor. This is the first bin of the 3 that we plan to dump here for our compost mix. So as you can see, all I've done is just literally tipped a bin of fruit on the ground. And I was standing back up. This fruit's all bad. Unfortunately, it was smoke tainted and was unusable for wine, so it's still good quality fruit. It's got no disease pathogen or anything in it. It all had a hit of nutrients and sulfur after the fact anyway, so we're all good. So yeah, first bin. I really need 2 hands to put this bin back on the tractor, so see you in a second. Whew, there we go, literally a second and I'm finished. Bin's back on the tractor, grapes are on the ground. Now it's time for me to get back on the tractor and head back up to the shed because I'm done for today. The rest of this can wait till Monday. We'll harvest another 2 bins of fruit and we'll put it on top. The last compost pile was so successful we decided that we'd give it another crack. This time it's closer to the source. I plan to use it in the Riesling, which are these vines just behind me here. Really poor sandy shit soils. It's the same place we're using the BIO CHAR, but you know, it's good to have a mix of variety. So I know for a fact that the compost is absolutely chockers full of microorganisms. We're yet to have the BIO CHAR tested to see what sort of improvement it makes on the soil, so it is a bit of a risk. And in terms of materials, we can make a lot more compost in a shorter amount of time than we can BIO CHAR, because we haven't got that amount of material that we can burn to make the BIO CHAR stretch as far as we'd like to see it stretch. I've checked it out today after we've had a couple of days of rain. The BIO CHAR is still really wet. The soil around it is not wet anymore, it's now dry. As you can see by the area here that I've just excavated. Just sort of raked it all the topsoil off, all the top layer of soil off when the grapes in this spot, just so I would get rid of the weeds and crap that were around it. I could have just gone straight on top, but I just wanted to clear the area so we've got a nice base to work with. Anyways, you can tell by that soil that it's not wet, whereas the BIO CHAR, which I tested not even 5 minutes ago, is still holding a lot of water. It's really moist. And this is one of the potential benefits that we've seen in the BIO CHAR before we applied it, so that's great. That brings me to the real topic of this video. I actually wanted to show you our BIO CHAR process from the very beginning to the very end and just walk you through the entire process. The build that we done to hold and inoculate the BIO CHAR, the creating of the charcoal, and our compost is a component of that. The compost is one of the major components of the tea recipe, which will be displayed in the video presentation. It's what we use to inoculate the biochar. So anyway, here's the entire process from the very beginning to our application and test section. And there'll be some commentary sort of walking you through exactly what's happening in the video. So here we go, enjoy. When we first added the rotted wood to the compost, it looked like this. It was still quite a lot of woody material all the way through. This is after 2 or 3 days. We got the combination so precise it started to steam quite quickly. The heat came up really fast, and this is, you know, only a few days into it. And the other aspect of the biochar is burning the wood, and this is us just having a little bit of fun, being a little bit comical, maybe a little bit stupid, but we're igniting the biochar pile here. This is something that I can now tick off my bucket list. I've always wanted to start a fire with an arrow. And this is another round of mixing the compost. It is a daily event, and we've done it every day for the 3 weeks. This helped aerate it, kept it really nice and hot. Another pile of pallets to burn. We'll set this on fire as well, and let it burn down to the charcoal state. Once we get it down to about here, we start thinking about putting the fire out. We extinguish it once it's all charcoal and there's no ash, or very little ash. We want to extinguish it at that point. Wetting the charcoal and separating it out is crucial. So we rake it all out, separate it so that we can hose it off and really cool it down. And again, get it at that charcoal phase, so it's like this, all charcoal all the way through. There's no woody sections left in it, and it's just that really nice charcoal effect. And wetting it also causes the charcoal to fracture more and makes it more porous, and is able to hold more of the tea brew that we put in. This is our bathtub system build. This particular part of the video is pretty much self-explanatory, so I'll let it play through the way that it exactly works. But basically it's one level is to bubble our tea recipe in, and the bottom level is a typical bathtub that holds the charcoal ready to receive the tea brew. And the charcoal at this stage has already been wetted, so it's able to accept the tea brew as an inoculation, and it's not aquaphobic anymore. And this is pretty much the final step. Once this plug hole was all siliconed up and everything was watertight, it was then able to accept our tea brew. So the next step's putting together the tea. And this is the recipe to the tea brew. I'll give you a second so you can actually read through it, or if you like, just pause it here and read through it. But there's some water preparation as well as the tea bag preparation. Now that I know the water bubbles, it's time for the compost tea. Here's the compost. This is the chook poo. We blended up some rustica, added some fish oil, and some blended alfalfa. We put this into the scoop and mixed it all around. I have a delicates bag that we used as a tea bag. This is it. Next step was to prepare the water with the molasses and the fish oil, or the fish plus. And here's the tea bag about to go into the water to be bubbled. Now we let this bubble and soak for a good couple of hours at least, and gave it a real good stir up. And it's not a really violent bubble, it's just sort of a gentle roll. This means that we're not smashing up the microorganisms too much. They're just sort of spilling out into the water. This, for me, was one of the most exciting steps in the whole process. It's actually adding the tea to the charcoal to create the charred biochar, which was the whole point of the project in the first place. We had a little bit left over at the end, so we poured that lot into a bucket and added some charcoal and the actual compost tea that was inside the bag too. And we spread this onto a few rows that are quite localised to where we have our morning tea. That way we can really check to see what's happening. And this is the first load of biochar we took down to do our test panel. We decided on testing 3 panels, so over 3 different panels. We had a really thick application of biochar, which is his first one. It was quite a deep layer and a wide layer, so it's 1.5 meters wide by about 5 or 6 centimeters deep. We then leave a panel bare with no biochar on it. This is so that we can test all the beneficial things that we're hoping to achieve with the biochar. Things like microdiversity in the soil, moisture holding, nutrient holding capacities. We're hoping it'll slow down the evaporation rate of the water in the soil. We're also hoping that it can change the soil structure from this really sandy soil that you can see here to better quality soil that is able to hold more water, more nutrients, and is just generally a lot more healthy. With the very last little bit of biochar in the bathtub here, we applied our second test panel, which is just a strip underneath the irrigation wire. This is so that when we fertigate, we can catch what nutrients is coming out of the fertigation line or the irrigation line straight into the biochar, and the biochar is able to lock on and hold on to that nutrients, whereas ordinarily it would drain away because the soil underneath the Riesling that the Riesling is growing in is really, really sandy. It doesn't hold on to water properly, and it doesn't hold on to nutrients properly. We lose quite a large percentage of both of those things. Thank you all for watching. My name's Matt. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. Leave a like if you feel like it. And I'll see you guys hopefully on the next one.